Hey, wake up! It's time to start the show. Glad to see you all aboard Mouse Ears in Paradise. Let's get this show rolling.
Welcome to Mouse Ears in Paradise. I'm Dave.
And I'm Becky.
And with us today, we bring back our friends Dan and Becca.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Good to be back.
Hello. Is this on? Hello. All right, so we wanted to bring them back because they went on another cruise, and this time on the Disney Treasure, which we have not been on, and probably a lot of people haven't been on yet because it's still quite new and fresh. So we're excited to hear what it's all about because we have a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Do you?
Always.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
You tell us.
Right.
Maybe we'll have to decide at the end.
So let's... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, I was just going to ask right off the top. I mean, how much do you guys know about, like, have you ignored everything that's out there on the treasure, or do you know a lot, or just kind of trying to baseline where you guys are at?
I know a fair amount.
Yeah, because, I mean, she does, because she does the travel planning stuff. I probably know a lot less, but I have tried to follow along with you guys on your trip, and I've seen, some other things, and then we're talking about going on the Destiny, and so there's some similarities there, so I think we've been trying to figure that out.
So let's start with how long and where'd you go? From where? Start there.
All right, it was a 7-night cruise, and it left out of Port Canaveral. And originally, it was supposed to go to Puerto Rico, Tortola, and Castaway Cay. But the day before we left, we got an email saying that the port wasn't ready in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And so they switched us out. And instead of going there, we got a bonus of going to Lookout Cay, which I know.
We got to talk about that.
We'll get there.
We were very excited about it.
But we were like, okay, we wanted to go to Puerto Rico. We were excited about that. Never been. But we were like, okay, here's the thing with cruising. You always have to be flexible.
For sure.
If you want to go somewhere and you set your heart on it, you have to know that there's always going to be a chance that something's going to happen operationally. So I would just put that out there. So we were like, okay, we were sad, but it was an opportunity to go to a place we didn't think we'd go to for a long time.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's
true. It was a good fill-in anticipatory for us to go check it out.
And the other thing about this cruise was that we were celebrating both our birthdays. Our birthdays are a day apart.
Yay!
So that was exciting. We had Lookout Cay was now my birthday, and Castaway Cay was Dan's birthday. So that was exciting for us.
And you guys had a little bit of trouble on the front end, right? Do you want to talk about that? That was this cruise, right? Where you couldn't get everything that you wanted to booked, which is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, we did. We had trouble booking Paolo.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is that we are platinum members, so we were able to book early. And by the time, we were on it right away, immediately, the minute you could book it, and everything for Paolo was sold out completely for brunch. And I wanted to do brunch on my birthday, but obviously because it was originally a sea day. But obviously I was willing to do it any day, any sea day that they had it. And it was all sold out immediately. And in the Facebook group that we joined, a lot of people said they had joined this cruise. There were a lot of platinum members and pearl members.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to go to Puerto Rico, which...
Oh, interesting.
Because
it's the only itinerary. It was the only itinerary where the treasure was supposed to go there.
Right.
Okay.
So I think that is why we couldn't get it, was because there were so many pearl members on board.
And you were fairly early, right? Were you the 4th or 5th cruise, I want to say, maybe the treasure did? I think
we were 7th paying cruise, I want to say.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Very early.
Yeah. Okay. So not quite as early as I thought, but still, you still had inaugural stuff on your sailing, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like inaugural season or something like that, right?
Inaugural season, I don't even know how long that goes, but I think it's still on there. But we did have the inaugural, for the most part, the inaugural crew as well. So people had opened the ship, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, the cast was the cast members were outstanding because we had that initial crew. I don't know if we just get right into it, but they've got the these two character actors, Coriander and Sage, and they sort of run around the ship for the whole week, and they do various shows around the ship, and like they're sort of like, I don't know, improv actors, I think.
And they are.
They were so much fun, and you could tell, like, obviously I would think Disney's always going to hire the best that they can, but for whatever, this is like the inaugural group, so we've got that first group. It's like having, the original Hamilton cast.
Yeah.
You've got the best. And they were phenomenal, and you could just tell. Like, I will say, spoiler alert here, that the Treasure is my favorite ship right now.
Oh, right. You said it right off the top.
I like it.
And I really think it had to do with, a lot of it was not just, the cast members really had a lot to do with it. And I think it's because you're on that, like, everything's so fresh and shiny and new. And I really like the theme of the ship. It was beautiful. Everything's sparkly. I don't know. Right now it's my favorite ship.
I love that.
I agree. Yeah.
Really?
And here's the amazing part about it is, if you think about it, structurally, it's the same ship as the Wish as far as like layout.
Yeah.
So, and we had a lot of problems with the Wish. If you remember, we talked some of that the last time. I'd say the Wish is probably like my least favorite. So if you imagine that there's only two ships that are the same basic structural design and layout, and one could be the best and one could be my least favorite to least favorite. And so for me, I think a lot of it is just what they did with the spaces. So how the problems I have with this ship are similar to the problems I have with the Wish, but they improved just about every single space.
Yeah.
So we could go through them, but there's just so many things that they're just so much better on the Treasure. So the crew was great, initial crew, but just the ship itself, they just took the attention to detail was just above and beyond anything I've seen before on a ship.
What were some of the highlights?
I would say the absolute number one highlight of this entire cruise, and I know Dan is going to agree with me, is the Haunted Mansion parlor.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you are a theme park fan, you don't even have to be a theme park fan, but if you are, it's just even doubly bonus for you. This bar, this Haunted Mansion, it was like you were sitting in the ride, but having a drink and just enjoying the ambiance. There was Madame Leota floating in the mirror. There was the help me out here, Dan. The pictures of when you first ride through
the Hitchhiking Ghost.
Well, yeah, the Hitchhiking Ghost. But the Medusa head, she's singing the portraits. The portraits are singing. Like,
oh yeah, the portraits come to life. There's the special effects. There's special effects going on. I don't even know if we saw everything, because I think they told us it takes, I don't know, a couple hours. It runs through, it repeats, but it runs through all the different things. So it's like the lights will dim. It'll do like, I guess, a show, and then it kind of changes. The lights kind of come back on. Everything sort of changes in the room to sort of, I guess, normal state. And then every few minutes, it just sort of happens again, and different things happen throughout the room. So there's like a fish tank where there's like these skeleton fish that swim around. And then there's the music box. And the music box comes to life, and like the fireplace with and the clock above the fireplace, and it does a thing. So there's so much to look at, and you could sit in various different parts of the parlor and experience. It can be a completely different experience. So it's like, it's to talk about repeatability. It's just like you could just go in. It's just it's some of the best theming, special effects, immersive experience I've ever seen. It's one of those, like, the bar is raised. Like I don't know what they got planned for the Destiny era, but now they did it. They raised the bar, and I hope they can continue to meet that, because it's one of those where you go, this is what Disney, like, you get that feeling. You're just like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I could live in here.
So what about, I think you mentioned that there was some good merch too, right?
Oh,
yes.
We had a hard time figuring out what to buy. Like, we literally, we kind of looked in advance to see how much space we would need. So we actually we brought an extra empty, not a suitcase, but like a duffel bag, basically, because we just knew we were going to be filling it. And some of the items weren't huge, but the boxes they came in were gigantic. So we actually didn't buy everything we wanted to buy, but we bought a lot. More than we normally would have. Like there was,
well, first of all, the Haunted Mansion parlor has its own merchandise line.
That's crazy.
So you've got the cool mugs. They've got two. We bought one of the two mugs that kind of, I don't know. How would you describe them? They're like
the fisherman and the mermaid.
Fisherman and the mermaid, and their style is like very similar, like a tiki mug almost, like real. I mean, and real heavy, real like bulky, and just
we're
really
not gonna drink out of it.
really well done. Yeah, it's like a decorative item, right? So
yeah,
we picked up one of those, and then there was another.
We picked up the fisherman.
Hatbox Ghost.
Sipper, yeah. Hatbox Ghost Sipper. We got that.
We picked that up. So that was just in the parlor, and then in one of the shops, they had a whole section where they sold like the clock.
We got that.
And they sold coasters. They sold
the coasters.
What?
We didn't get the coasters.
We did get the coasters.
We did get the coasters. That's
He's
right.
just hiding them from you.
I forgot because they're not out.
Yeah, they're not out. Yeah, they're somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, because they come in a really cool. I mean, the detail on the merchandise was really good. It's just high end merchandise, like. And I thought the prices were fairly reasonable for the quality of the merchandise. So, and then we didn't talk about Periscope Pub, but they had like or Skipper Society, which are two other locations, but they had merchandise for that. So basically, for a lot of the bars, pubs, whatever you want to call it, they had merchandise for. So that right away was like, so that's different. And then you've got the treasure merchandise. So then you're just looking, and it's the, like you said, the inaugural season. So it was all the inaugural season merchandise. And so
it was way better than the Wish. There was like, I don't know if you remember, but we talked about how there was no merchandise.
Nothing,
it was like 3 things, and we were really disappointed. And the space was really small. But the space was small on the treasure, but they managed to fit so much more into it. There was just, I mean, there was treasure merchandise everywhere. So it was actually really fantastic. And we did some damage. Yeah. We had to make choices. And when we got out and talk about trying to like figure out the suitcase situation and get things in, we had to do some creative packing to try to make sure we got everything home. So, one of our mugs broke before we even left Disney World. It like so they sell the same mug on every ship, but the characters that are on the back of the ship are on each mug. And so the treasure has Peter Pan and Hook. So we bought that mug because we're trying to collect them all.
Yeah.
And it broke before, like we had it wrapped and put it in our backpack because we didn't want it in the suitcase. But it was really only wrapped in tissue paper. So there was no box or anything. And it cracked in half before we even left Disney. And we were able to get it replaced, but not through Disney. Like we called Disney and they said that unfortunately, because it's sold on the ship, they're not allowed to replace anything that was sold. It must be some maritime law. I don't know.
Probably taxes, something like that.
Something like
it has
that.
something to do with that.
Yeah. But
I couldn't even look into it.
We did have, I posted in our Facebook group, and one of the people in the group who I didn't even know, she sent me a message and said, "Hey, I'm going back on the treasure. Would you like me to buy the mug for you and send it to you?" And
that's
I
awesome.
Venmoed her money, and it was fantastic. So now we have the mug. So that was magical. Yeah.
No, you just took my magical moment.
Hey, that wasn't this week though.
Close enough. I was going to use it. But it was a good story. Yeah, it was awesome to get that because we're like, let's collect them from all the ships, even though we've been on all of them. We didn't start till later, so we only have the Fantasy and the Wish, and then we got the treasure, and then it broke, and we were like, oh no! And the only way to get it is to go on again.
Oh,
like,
bummer!
Time to book another trip.
This is a very expensive mug.
Worth it.
But yeah, so merchandise was really good. The other spaces, like the Skipper Society, if you like Jungle Cruise, so it's in the same space where Tiana's
Bayou.
I don't remember what it's called, but
I think it's called Tiana's Bayou.
Yeah, like the Bayou, which again it was in a weird spot. Same thing on this ship. It's in a weird spot. It's in the middle, and there's like walkways on either side. It's kind of odd, but again, the theming there is so good, and they've got this cool like booth, and they've got all kinds of just pictures and stuff on the inside, all Jungle Cruise themed. and they had like the lamp that's above is like this tiki bird lamp.
It's a Tiffany lamp. It looks like a Tiffany lamp, but with tiki birds.
That sounds cool.
Right?
Really pretty.
And they had a mug too that we had to get, which is like a Jungle Cruise boat mug. And like,
did you guys have to redo the kitchen when you got back too?
Those aren't even in the kitchen.
They're not even in the kitchen. Yeah, we got them displayed elsewhere. Yeah,
they won't be used as mugs. Yeah,
so that was cool. Periscope Pub, which we only went into one time, I think. Right? It was really cold when we were in there, and so it's like their sports bar.
Okay.
So here's the thing about the Periscope Pub. The theming is very cool, but when you walk in and there's 10 different TVs playing basketball, but you've got this theme of 20,000 leagues. It's really, it's odd. Yeah, it's jarring. And we actually only stayed 5 minutes because the air conditioning was so cold that I don't know why, we were freezing. There was no other space on the ship that we were so cold. And then with basketball playing, we were like, I don't know.
It's not always like that. It just happened to be the time we could hit it. And then I was like, all right, I want to go back another time, like have a drink and kind of check it out. It was one of those we never got back to do that. But but again, really cool theme.
I will say that when I listened to when you guys talk about your cruise, and you talked about how there wasn't a lot of activities to do. We had the exact opposite experience. The Treasure had so many activities we couldn't keep up. Like we couldn't do any. Like we were overwhelmed. We're like, okay, there's too much to do on this ship. What do we choose? There was so much indecision.
Interesting.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was great. It was a good problem to have.
Yeah, there was like Sage and Coriander had their shows. Then they had like in is it Sarabi on this ship?
Yeah, Sarabi.
Sort of like a 2-story main venue space where they have like a lot of the adult activities and stuff. Yeah. So that had like Sage and there were shows in there like all the time, and then
they had an Indiana Jones show that you saw that I didn't see.
Yes, that was really good. Again, improv. So this character's like it's kind of reminds me of a throwback. Now I didn't experience it, but I'm familiar with it. The what's the thing they had at Paradise Island that closed down?
Club?
The Adventures Club. So it's like these two characters and they're playing these characters the whole time, but they improv. So they do a lot of improv within their set stories, and then they're around the ship and they're in these different shows. And so I thought that was really cool to kind of bring that to Disney Cruise Line, sort of incorporating that. And so you had that in addition to all the trivias and bingo and all that other stuff that you typically see on a Disney cruise, but they had some of this other stuff too, which was really neat.
We participated in one of the activities. We were chosen to be members of the crew. I don't know. They had.
Oh, it was the Jungle Cruise.
It was the Jungle Cruise. What was it called? I can't remember.
I can't remember now, but it was like it was in the main Grand Hall, and it was a Jungle Cruise themed show.
We were competing against the other, like we were with
the other boat, like two boats.
Was he Sage or was he Coriander? I forget.
It
was a male and a female, and we were with the male, and he was our boat captain. I was our boat skipper, and there was like 20 of us, and then on the other boat, it was like a boat made of rope on the floor, so we were all sitting on the floor.
That's awesome,
and it was so fun. And they just did like various things to make us compete against one another, and they flipped this huge blue sheet down from the atrium from the staircase, and we all ran behind it, and it was backside of water.
Nice.
And it was really fun.
That's cute. I like it.
It was really cute. Yeah. So a lot of cute things like that they did that were just like above and beyond what I've seen on a Disney cruise.
Okay. That's cool.
I like it. Yeah, we definitely did not see anything like that on the Fantasy that I can think of.
What about the food?
What about the food?
Food, yeah.
Food.
Okay.
Food was... All right, go ahead.
Because I feel like that was a complaint for you for the Wish.
Yes. Marvel is still terrible.
You don't like it?
I do not like Marvel. And
but it was better.
It was slightly better, but it was still not good. So I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what they're doing for Marvel. And the show was the exact same show, but then they added another show with Rocket and Groot. But I still didn't get the storyline for either. And so I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Marvel dinner at all. I want it to be good and it's not. So putting that aside, Coco is 10 times better than Frozen.
Yeah.
So the food is leaps and bounds better. The show is not as chaotic. So the show is really well done. Like, the problem with Frozen was that Anna and Elsa were not singing their songs, but they had Anna and Elsa singing, but they had other people sing. I don't know, it was weird. But in Coco, it was really cool. You had the mariachi band come out and play and sing, but then you had Miguel and Hector, and they came out and they sang their songs, and it was really nice. And it wasn't sensory overload. It wasn't so loud and crazy. It was a really nice show. And we did 2 shows, and one which we didn't understand the theme till later. I don't know why. Maybe it was just too much going on. But I guess the first night is preparing for Dia de los Muertos, and the second night is actually Dia de los Muertos.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So wish I'd known that going in.
Yeah, they're connected. Yeah, and they're
waiting for the songs.
They're really good. I mean, even like the end, the singing. There's like it can get pretty emotional. Like, it was that good, where they're like pulling at the heartstrings while you're having dinner. So it was. And
the dancer, she was like,
oh, she was fantastic.
Like a flamenco dancer almost. Yeah. She did end up running into one of the servers on a tray of plates fell.
Yeah,
right by us too.
Right next to us. Whoops.
She didn't miss a beat though. She kept on going.
She kept going.
Show must go on.
The show must go on. Exactly. Yep.
So yeah,
but the food in there was good. The food in there was good.
It was much better.
And
the 1923
was about the same, right? Yeah,
still
it
very
was the
good.
same. And we missed the second 1923 meal, which I think was like lobster night, because that was the night I went to Palo for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
So we did Palo for my birthday for dinner, and we did Palo,
we did Palo brunch the day before my birthday. So yeah, we didn't actually finish that. We did end up getting into Palo brunch, but here was the trick. The moment we boarded the ship, which we were able to board early again because we used Disney transportation again.
Yeah.
Dan went right to the line, and he was like, what time? Like, you were the last person to get Palo brunch.
I was close to it. I kind of heard one of the guys saying to the other guys, like, I think that's it for brunch or something like that, as I was leaving. So I think it was like, I was one of the last people to get. Yeah, there was still a lot of people ahead of me, but when I walked out, there must have been 50 people in line behind me. I was like,
yikes.
Saying to those people, I was like, if you want brunch, it's not looking good.
I got the last one, buddy.
Needless to say, we were lucky that we were able to get Palo brunch, and we did it because they switched up the sea day and everything because of the change in the itinerary. We got the day before Becca's birthday. Yeah. But I don't know. Palo, I just, it's not as great as it was. Back in the day on the original ships, especially dinner, become less of a good value. I still enjoy brunch. A lot of the stuff on brunch I think I enjoyed that better than dinner.
I don't think I do dinner anymore. I think I'm a little bit over it.
Interesting.
Because, so they used to have everything was all included for the price that you paid. And now that we're platinum, it is you get a $50 credit basically. Mm-hmm. But the only $50 item on the menu is the prefix menu now. Yeah. Otherwise, you can order a la carte, but everything, you could end up spending $250. And for what we used to get for $50.
Yeah.
So and then they used to bring you this gorgeous plate in the beginning of the antipasta. That was the first thing that came out. And now that's it's not even on the prefix menu. It's like, oh, you could pay for this now. Mm-hmm. So you don't get that anymore. And the filet is no longer on the prefix menu. So, I don't think their best items are on the prefix, and I absolutely refuse to pay now that it's included.
Yeah.
For me, I'm bitter about it. I'm like, I waited. I got my 12th cruise. I want it to be included. I don't want to pay.
Right.
So I think I'm kind of over Palo dinner.
Interesting, because
I'm sure we'll do it again.
We've done Palo now, the brunch.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, okay, now it's time to do something, do the dinner or Remy or something, but I guess.
Did you enjoy the brunch?
I like brunch, but here's my thing. There's nothing new, which is sort of my thing with Disney cruises in general.
this is
and
true.
I realize that the majority of their people are not repeat, and that this is a very snobby complaint.
Champagne problem.
This is a champagne kind of problem.
I share it with you.
But I would love to see like a chef special. Like you can keep your things,
totally.
and I totally get that. But kind of like when you go to Napa Rose, or if you go to Club 33 or something, like I realize those menus actually do change more frequently. But I would still like to see. I don't know. Like I just need the chef special. I think that would go a long way.
They did say there was a chef special, but it was like the same special as last time. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it's not
so
real
special.
chef special.
Right.
Put that in
It's
quotes.
always
Chef special.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Especially like you're sailing
I
in the Caribbean, and like you have access to this whole different. And I get like it's themed to Italian, but I just feel like there's a missed. There's something missed here. Like there should be some kind of like the seafood of the day or something. Like I don't know, but
I agree.
Yeah.
This is not really a problem.
I mean, you asked about the food. I'm saying I agree with you. That
Yeah.
we're, as we've cruised, before. I guess it was before COVID when they had the buffet, which we much preferred.
Yeah.
And it took
I'm
away
sad
the-
I
and
missed
every
that.
time- And every time we talk to the servers, they're like, we hear it all. They hear it all the time, so they know. But it is a conscious decision. Like this is the direction they want to stick with as far as brunch is keeping it this way. And and we tried to like pretend like maybe after a few times we'll forget, but every time we're like,
You don't forget.
I'm kind of glad we didn't get to experience that menu.
I know.
Yeah.
And there are some great items. I mean, there is some food on there. Like we have a good time. We enjoyed it.
Sure.
The atmosphere is
Yeah.
fantastic. The service is great. All the servers that work up there are
fantastic.
Our server, she was fantastic. And we had her both times for brunch and dinner. And at brunch, we kept looking at the server next to us and we kept going, man, are they sisters? They look a lot alike. And we kept looking at them. And finally, I'm like, at dinner, I was like, I have to ask. I'm like, is that your sister? And she's like, it's my twin.
Oh my gosh.
So that's a yes.
That's a yes. So no wonder you look alike. And then on the very last day of the cruise, I was walking through Marceline Market and I see our server because I see her, I see the name tag, and I assume it's our server because of the name tag. And so I called out her name and I said hi to her, and she goes, "Oh no, it's not me. That's my sister. I grabbed a different name tag this morning."
How funny. That's hilarious.
I'm like, that's unfair.
Yeah.
Now they're just messing with you.
Yeah.
But again, just like on that, back to the food real quick, just like the Wish, the pool deck food is still really good. The barbecue out there,
Yes.
Marceline Market is about the same.
We didn't try the pizza when we were on the Wish, and it was fantastic. It was way better than any of the other Disney cruise ships. I don't know what it was about that pizza. It was delicious.
Interesting.
Yeah, they make it right there. Like they got the cool oven and fresh dough,
It
and the
was
guy makes it. And it's just,
really
I was
good.
like expected just like poolside pizza, and I was like, it's really good. It's really tasty. So, yeah, high marks for the pool deck food.
Oh, and we tried the taco bar this time, which we didn't have a chance to on the Wish, and that was delicious too. That's like
very good.
a Chipotle,
Yes.
but better, not
right.
Not
Yeah,
how Chipotle used to be.
we would love a taco bar on the pool deck. That would be
It was
our
fantastic.
jam. And
Yeah,
Drew
you
loves
guys
a
will like
piece of
it.
pizza in a lounge chair, watching whatever
that's his
movies
jam.
on the screen.
I mean, who does that?
That's his jam.
There you go. There you go. I see. We need to cruise together so Drew and Max can hang out with their pizza and watch a movie.
Sounds good to
That's a
me.
good visual. But yeah, so that food was good too. Oh, and the shows,
Yeah.
best trio of shows, I think, in the fleet, right? Beck, would you say?
Absolutely.
We had Seize the Adventure, which is the same show in The Wish, which is sort of your.
It's like the new Disney Dreams, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, it's the new. It used to be what it was like the first night kind of show.
Oh,
but it is
the
similar
Mickey.
to.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Mickey.
The Golden
whatever.
Globe.
Yeah, the
thing.
Golden Mickeys or something like. Yeah,
Right.
it's like that version where it's like, Goofy takes over the ship and then he goes, and then they have different
Montage of music.
different montage medleys, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. It's really good. Same one as on the Wish, and then Beauty and the Beast, which I think is also on the Dream, right? Dream or Fantasy, one of the other ships.
It's on one of them.
Beauty and
Not
the Beast,
the Fantasy.
but- But fantastic, great, excellent show. And then the newest one, specifically for this cruise, which is Moana.
Oh, so good.
Oh, wow. It is the best show I see. Like the quality of the show, the special effects. And again, we had the opening crew. So the opening cast.
Yeah.
But like the girl that played Moana was so good. The
puppeteering.
I can't remember all the characters' names. What was the grandmother?
Grandma Tala.
Grandmother. She was really good. She was such a good actress. And the puppetry, some special effects. I won't give anything away, but some really cool special effects happened during the show. And
my only complaint is that there was no hey hey. And I don't
understand that. That's a little sad.
That's a lost opportunity.
Hey. Yeah. And what's the other? The pig.
The pig's not in it either. I don't understand.
Pua was not in it either. I was like, oh, so the comic relief wasn't really in it.
Yeah, but other than that, it was actually
fantastic.
Right? Yeah. Right.
So that was sad, but it was an excellent show. Very, very, very good show.
All right. Okay, let's talk about Lookout, because I feel like you guys
bring it.
You guys have a very different view on Lookout than what we did. So I
wouldn't say very, but different.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better, I guess. But you have a different view on Lookout. So tell us what you thought.
So in general, I liked it. Overall, I thought it was really beautiful. I thought the sand on the beach was really nice. I think the water in the beach is nicer than Castaway. Like that part of it is really, really nice. I think the amount of time it takes to get to the beach is ridiculous.
Charter a plane, hire a captain.
I mean, we were there on a beautiful day that was windy. So not too windy, but like enough breeze where walking that 10-minute walk wasn't horrible.
It was like perfect weather.
But I would not want to do that in the middle of summer. Like I would not want to make that walk.
No.
Why don't they have shade? I don't understand the choices that were made.
Yeah.
And then a tram after that. It's like
and a long tram too.
And not a short tram. Yeah, that's not a short. There's a whole narration the whole way through.
Yeah.
If you care to follow along, there's some storyline, but it's just like this long tram ride. I'm like, where are they taking us?
It does feel like that.
And then somehow we missed the towels. I guess you get off and they're supposed to be like, we got all the way to where we were like, where were the towels?
Where do we get towels?
Completely missed where you pick up the towels. So we missed that.
So we ended up going over to the kids area, the kids club, and asked like, hey, where can we get towels? And they just gave us some towels because they were like, you got to go all.
That would have been so disappointing.
So
I don't know how we missed it.
How we ended up where we ended up. So we try our first mission was we wanted to get some character pictures with them in their lookout key.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I will say that I'm going to interrupt you for a second and just say that because it was my birthday, it was dealer's choice.
Okay.
I said my goal is I want to get a picture with Goofy in his new outfit, and that is like the number one thing I wanted to do. But what we didn't realize was that Goofy was only out for like a half an hour at 10:15. And we were like, oh my God, we got to race. We got to get out there. And I don't know why they do this at Castaway too, where the characters are only out from like 9 to 11.
I know.
So that was like, we were racing to get there. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's fine. And they're in a weird spot. They're not they've got these really cool backdrops of a different character theme thing, but the characters aren't there. They're down further. I don't even understand where it's at.
They're by the food.
Yeah,
you
really?
kind of right past where the food is. So you get off the tram and you make a right. If you're looking at the ocean, you make a right. And we went down and then we did the character. I think we got
Minnie, Mickey,
and Donald. Oh, Minnie, right? I think
and
Nathan
Mickey.
got.
Nathan got Donald.
Yeah. So all right. So we got all those characters, and then we're like, all right. And then we went and got the towels by the kids area. So again, we're walking further down to the right. Then when we finally got the stuff, we walked a little bit. We saw this like bar, and we made a left there. And then that's where you see like a little seating area, and then some stairs that go down to the beach because everything's set off, right? Kind of like.
So it's not the main. It's not the. It's the family beach, but it's not the family beach where, like
where everyone goes.
Everyone goes like where the lifeguard is and where that splash pad is. It's not over there. It's all the way on the other side. It's towards the lighthouse.
Right. And I think that's the difference where you guys went kind of where most of the people went. And we not that we did this on purpose, but we just happened to go away and then say, all right. And we were like, I was like, there's a bar right there. There's chairs and there's nobody here. Let's take these chairs. Mm-hmm. And so we put all our stuff down and then it's like, okay, but now we got to go to the water. So you kind of leave your stuff. Yeah. So then you go down the stairs and then you're on the beach. And then towards the back, there was stacks of those chairs that you can kind of put in you can just sit up in and kind of put in the water. Yeah. So we grabbed a couple of those and put it in the water and we just sort of set up camp. And there was like, I don't know, maybe 10 people. We could, like, there was not a lot of people anywhere near us, people walking up and down. And we just sort of set up camp there for the most part. Got it. But I remember walking down the beach just to kind of check things out. And I walked back the way we came, but on the beach. And we hit an area where there was just wall-to-wall people. And I was like, oh, I'm glad we didn't come here. So when I was hearing you tell your story about your day there, I thought that must have been the area that you were at.
Yeah, we were there.
We thought we were doing what you did, but because we were trying to go on the far end, like keep going as far away that people would just like, as soon as they saw water would stop and that's where they would go. And we obviously did it backwards.
Yeah, it was just the other direction.
Yeah.
It was just because I think what happens is you keep going and then it eventually hits the adult beach, which we never even saw. We never even went down there far enough. We never even saw we never even saw the second, I don't remember what they call it, where you get the food. Yeah.
I mean, we kind of saw the lighthouse, but we didn't go to it. And we also had a better day. We didn't have the red flag day. So that also plays a big part, I'm sure.
So it was a good day, but we definitely felt left wanting. Like we just thought it still didn't make a lot of, like some of the choices, like why they picked there and some of the things they did. And I thought some of the structures and stuff were kind of cool and, and pretty. And, I thought some of that theming was kind of neat, but it just felt like it wasn't complete. It just felt like there's a lot missing.
Yeah, it wasn't as pretty as the pictures.
Signage was brutal. Like, I mean,
what signage?
A map or something. Yeah, there was no signage.
The food was terrible. The food was really bad.
Really.
Now there weren't any flies. Really, I will say that was good, but I didn't think the food wasn't warm. It was like the cheese wasn't melted on the burgers. Like it was. I didn't find the food good. We were like,
maybe that's why the flies are gone. They're like, this food's not that good.
I'd heard that food was good from other people, but we didn't even try it. We just went back to the boat. So.
I think next time we will either get off the boat right away and go back for lunch for the barbecue, or wait until after lunch and then go for a few hours. Because there's no point in eating there.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. Like the sad thing is, like you're talking about the characters and stuff like that. It feels like if you're not there first thing in the morning, like you don't get any of that. So that was kind of the thing we were trying to hit. But I do agree. I think like we'll have to, if we end up back there, we're going to have to just go in the afternoon because how can you, that's like some of that deck food is so good. Why would you, and then you can get on the, the water slides and stuff like that. Like it just, I don't know. And they're not going to leave. They're not going to leave without you.
Right. No. Exactly.
Yeah. It's not one of those places. Right. Did you experience the Junkanoo parade? That was pretty cool.
We just missed it, I think.
Yeah, we did. We
heard saw them, but we didn't get to hear them. If that makes sense.
I watched it and I thought, I wonder how long before we go, remember the Junkanoo parade? Like, I feel like it's something that's may end up being short-lived.
That's not a forever thing.
They're pretty cool costumes.
Yeah.
They are very cool costumes.
I mean, they're amazing. Yeah. Great performance. It was really neat. But yeah, it just is, there needs to be more activities. And I'm not saying that Disney, I think we talked about this before, about how Royal has their perfect day and they've got like a water park and they got all, and I'm not saying they need to overdevelop the island in that same manner. Like, I'm not trying to say that, but there's the natural comparisons that are just going to happen. And I just feel like there's so much more to do and there's so much more going on and happening at Perfect Day that I feel like if this was Disney's response to that, they could have done something better. Disney, just the Disney version of something. But I just feel like it's not as good.
I mean, even just Castaway to look out, like keeping it within Disney, like it feels like Castaway has more to do or at least see and better theming and
Yeah, and everything seems right there, like Castaway. Even though it's spread out, but it just feels like you get off the ship, and it's not long before it's like everything's like boom, 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 boom. Everything. You don't have like the endless boardwalks.
Right.
I mean, how much money did they spend on boardwalks?
I don't know. It's insane.
They were just everywhere, and there's no shade. Like the weather was beautiful, and I can only imagine going there in like July and August, being even more miserable. Like, oh, this is just too much. Like after the walk and the tram ride, and then you get there and you're walking on the boardwalk, and it's so hot. Like it
hasn't been open yet in the summer, right? Isn't this going to be
opened in August?
Did it
open in August?
Yeah,
so like that's when the flies were in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So the flies may not be gone; they just might be dormant right now.
That's what I'm wondering. We haven't had a full year. It's interesting.
But yeah, because even like Castaway, sometimes I feel like almost guilty taking the tram because it's really not that far. But like, I wish there was a better option. I think we've talked about it. Imagine if you could take a tender from the boat to the beach or something like that, right? Like,
and then drop you up right there.
Yeah,
I know.
It'd be a good option. I don't know.
Yeah,
if they had an option, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I think a lot of people would take that because it's too much.
It's too much.
It's just too much.
The store, I felt we went into the store and there was, it's a brand new place. And so maybe this is why, but there were so many people in there.
I know.
It was so overwhelming. And the store is tiny. Like, why didn't they make it bigger? It was so small and so loud. And we were like, get us out of here.
Yeah.
Some of the shops are pretty small on Castaway too, but they have,
they are.
They're kind of spread out and there's multiple ones. And so
this
it's
is
not
just
as
one.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I agree.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Joe Rohde part of this planning this island, or maybe in the concept phase or something? I feel like he had something to do with it.
I don't know.
And
I don't know.
I thought he did, and I just felt like because I kind of had a little bit of feel like maybe he did, but the execution, like you think about comparison, like Animal Kingdom, which he
might have been at the beginning, and then he left by the time things got into full swing.
Yeah,
it does feel like maybe budget cuts or something.
Yes,
something got dropped.
Yes, I would go back. I wouldn't not go on a cruise because that was a location. I do like it there, but I think it, could be improved.
You are correct on the Joe Rohde. Yeah, he was like one of the main guys who worked with the local artists to help develop it.
Right. Some of the artists, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you look at the pictures of the artwork beforehand, the concept art is much more colorful.
Yeah.
Than what it ended up being.
I think they cut back on some of the stuff from the concept art. Yes.
Yeah.
And even the concept art didn't get me too excited. And I was like, and then an execution was like, oh.
Well, I remember even like it was I don't know, a couple months before they were supposed to open, and they did some like video, like teaser of it, and we're like, they got a long way to go, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yes.
Is that
I
it?
hope they're not done yet, because
right.
No, they were still building Boardwalk.
Oh my gosh! So
and I think it has a lot to do with part of the agreement. Like again, the reason why the ship is where it is because of the. Ecologically and the beach and they couldn't pave certain places probably, so the boardwalk was their only option. But again, they chose to go there.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it's all like that. So they made a choice, and
that's 100% correct. And I can get behind actually the walk on the pier, like if that's what it takes to protect the coral reefs. I'm kind of on board for that. But you got to have a sheltered. Like, I think as I was processing more about, well, how do I feel about this? And, it's really marketed. I don't know if you looked at any of the excursions and stuff, but for a lot of them, you had to be at least 10 years old. And I feel like you're missing a significant portion of the market if you're going to do that, right? Like, it's not, I don't know. There's so many families traveling with kids. Like, once you're 10, you're out of Oceaneers Club, like that's the top end of that. And so I feel like you got to have a place for young kids to be comfortable
I mean, they have the splash pad, right, or whatever, but they don't.
Yeah, but that's not big enough for all the kids on the boat.
No. and they have the kids club too, but still, like they don't the excursions, right? Like, like we did the stingray thing, right? Like,
and even that waiting till 5 was a little bit challenging for us, but at least it's all right there where you're like, you can kind of switch kids.
Yeah, like we did like child swap basically last time.
But
we haven't done any excursions on any island ever.
Oh, you should do the stingray one. I highly recommend it. It's really fun.
It is.
It's really fun.
All right. Sold me.
Yeah.
Well, we did when we went to Grand Cayman once, we did the Stingray City.
Okay.
Get out, but
I meant the Disney one. We've never done an excursion on Castaway or Lookout.
No, we never have. Yeah. Yep. Well, maybe we should do that sometime, but
we did do an excursion. Speaking of, we did do an excursion on Tortola, and we did it through Disney, and I really, really enjoyed it. We took a boat to, what was the name of that place?
Virgin Gorda.
Virgin Gorda. And when we read that it was strenuous and that there were some areas that were for like climbing in small spaces, and we were like, okay, can Max do this? He's 5. And I was looking online and I was a little bit nervous, but I was like, well, if they say 5, they usually overcompensate. They usually say it's strenuous and it's not. So I was like, it'll be fine. And I will say Max did almost fall off one of the ladders at one point. He is so small that he went swinging like a little monkey. And I had to catch him. And I was like, oh my God.
That might just be him.
That's kind of a family thing, though. Like, I think there's some other stories that
there's some precedent.
Yeah, he fits. Yeah, but it was a great excursion, though. It was like walking through caves. Like you go from one little beach, and then you go.
It was like the Goonies.
Yeah, that's a Goonies kind of thing. Like walking through, and then cool rock formations, and then you come out to another beach, and you get to spend a little time on that beach. But then it started to rain, so we're like, well, I guess we better leave this beach, and then walk back up, and you take a boat over, and for a Disney excursion, it wasn't terribly expensive. It was a good. We enjoyed it. I think we had fun.
Yeah, they had one that included lunch and one that didn't, and we thought, all right, let's eat on the boat, and then we won't get off the ship till 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
and the boat's not going to leave without us when we're on a Disney excursion, so. We basically stayed on the boat all morning, and it was half empty.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it was actually really a good experience because we got to, wander the boat half empty and then go on an excursion and see some of Tortola. And I really enjoyed it.
That sounds fun.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's go. Nice.
Put it on the list.
All right. So number one favorite ship. That's what we got so far.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I will say something that this must be the same on the Wish, but we didn't actually ever find out. But we were considering doing the Rainforest Room because it was our birthdays, and we're like, all right, we'll treat ourselves. We'll go to the Rainforest Room. So we had actually booked in advance, but I was like, before we go and pay for it and actually do it, let's go check it out. Even though we checked out the one on the Wish and it's exactly the same. I was like, I'm just going to go take a tour of it. And there was so much going on in the Treasure that I was a little nervous about how much time we'd have and if it would be worth the money. Like every day we'd be like, well, we got to get in our rainforest time, because we paid for it. So as I was taking the tour, I'm so glad I went and took the tour because she's walking me around and everything's beautiful. And I really like it. And then the area that everybody kind of complains about or laughs about because it's like in the center of the ship and people can walk around above you and look over and see you like relaxing in the hot tub. Got it, which is like odd.
Or on the loungers. So the very front of the ship, where you can actually walk to the front.
Yeah,
it's like an outdoor area.
Middle. Yeah, in the middle, there's the outdoor area, and that outdoor area is the outdoor portion of the rainforest.
I don't care. I'm fine with it.
There's not that many people up there.
There's not that many people. That didn't concern me. And there were 2 hot tubs out there, which is double the amount that's on the entire ship, and that was really my main reason I wanted it.
Becca likes the hot tub.
I like the hot tub. But then the lady's giving me the tour and she says, so the outside area closes when the sun sets. And I said, what do you mean? You can't go in the hot tub after the sun sets? And she said, no, there's no lights out there. So you can't utilize the 2 hot tubs.
Oh, interesting.
Once the sun goes down. So I was like,
It seems like an easy fix.
Yeah, right. Put some lights
no,
up.
it's not. Again, and I think the reason why is because it's the front of the ship. the bridge is above.
Yeah.
They can't have lights on in front of the bridge because they need to be able to see to navigate.
Well, that was a poor design choice.
That's my point. That's another thing where they didn't think that through. The only way to resolve that is to put lights out there, but they can't put lights out there because of that reason. So now they just close it at dusk.
Yeah. So we ended up canceling our rainforest room. I said, never mind. Because the only real time I would be able to enjoy the rainforest room is after dinner, because we had the early dinner. And the kids go to the kids club usually after dinner. It was like, that would be the perfect time if after a show, like, once the show is over, I think that's when we would usually go, right? Between like 8:30 and 10. It's like, all right, let's go do the rainforest room. But if you can't enjoy the hot tub, what's the point?
That's fun. The kids clubs were hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They took to it. Max was my 5-year-old. He was the first time he really spent significant time in there where they didn't call us to come get him. We had to go get him. And then our oldest, we have a 14-year-old, but he went to, he's in the in-between phase where he could go into Edge and Vibe. And Vibe's the older one, right, Beck?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was like, he could go in either one, but he was like, no, Vibe. He's stuck with Vibe. With Edge is too, like, the kids in there are too
young.
So too young or whatever. So he went in there every day and he did his thing.
He made friends.
He went and was taking pictures with the characters by himself. He'd be like, I want to go meet someone. He would just go do it. And this is why Cruise is so great, because you come together as a family when you want to, and the kids have their own places and spaces, and like it's just so it worked out. Both of them were very happy and love the kids club. So that was another real big hit.
That's awesome.
So it was a great trip. It was wonderful. It was good. We had a good time.
We did.
Highly recommend.
All right. Well, we appreciate getting to hear all about your trip, but I think it is now time for the magical moments.
All right. Who's going first?
Well, I'll go first because I stole Dan's. I got to give him time to go.
All right.
My magical moment of the week was, it was spring break this week. And unfortunately, in the beginning of the week, Max had the flu, so it wasn't starting out so magical. But by the end of the week, he was feeling better, and we got to take him to the Field Museum. And he's really into dinosaurs right now. So taking him to go see Sue the dinosaur was a very cool experience. And it was magical for us. So that was my magical moment.
That's cool. I like it.
Right on. Dan, how about you?
All right, I am going to take it back to the cruise, and I'm going to go back to a purchase that I'm still pretty excited about. And they sell artwork on the ship. This is another one where it's like they have artwork, and maybe they have it in the other ships. I don't know. Something specific about this ship, possibly. But they have artwork that's specific to the treasure. And one of the things I got, one of my favorite pieces, we got hanging in our bedroom, is a canvas. We got the canvas version, pretty good size, of the Haunted Mansion parlor. Cool. It's like an attraction poster, if you will. So it's got like a lot of the different things that are inside the Haunted Mansion parlor on there. And I just, every time I look at it, I smile. I love it. It's just a great piece of art that I'm glad we order on the ship, and then they deliver it straight to your house like a couple weeks after you get off the cruise. So every time I take a peek at that, magical.
That's awesome.
Right on. How about you, Becky?
My magical moment is somewhat meta. New podcast out, much cooler than ours, called Good Hang with Amy Poehler. I don't have anybody. Okay, so she's got new podcast out, Good Hang. Right. Yeah, so she's got 3 episodes out so far. I've listened to them all. And I love that at the end, she ends with like what's making her laugh that week, which I think is so fun. So like, it's just funny because it's a similar vibe to what we're doing. And I thought it was funny. And it's a great podcast. And she's hilarious.
I was going to say, are you laughing a lot?
I am. Yes, I am. And I've learned a couple of things about different people. I mean, she's interviewing her people right now, right? So that's cool and fun to listen to. And I'm a Parks and Recs fan, so that's fun to get some backstory on some of those things too. So how about you, Dave?
What's it called again?
Good Hang.
What's it called?
Good.
Okay, I'm gonna add that one. I like it.
What about you, Dave?
The first thing that came to my mind is, and I'm afraid to actually share this because I know it's just going to add fuel to the fire. But I believe it's Tokyo Disney is now going to have a build your own monorail.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
What?
Like you think about a little build your own droid, but it looks like it's pretty small, like maybe a few inches. But yeah, you can build your own monorail. And like I saw that and I'm like, I have to go to there.
Yeah. You gotta make it happen.
You do have to go to their Dave.
Only one way to get that, Dave.
I know.
Listen, it's not because your wife hasn't been trying.
I know. But just being a monorail fan,
all it took was a monorail.
Oh, I know, right?
Monorail.
Exactly.
It doesn't even look all that high quality. It looks pretty simple, but still, like the concept, the
Whatever
idea,
works.
I love it. Right? Like you could choose. Do you want it to be red or yellow or blue or what color do you want it to be? I really hope they bring it to the U.S. somewhere.
Is it the Tokyo monorail version? Like build your own. How their monorails look a little bit different than the ones in the States?
It does look a little different, yeah. So it probably is their version.
Their version.
Yeah.
So
So
send me the link on that.
Dan needs to go too.
I want to see it.
Yeah, no, it just like the idea of it, the concept of it. I was like, this is great. We need more monorail.
Very cool.
More monorail. Here we go.
All right. What?
You didn't want to have it be that you let your son actually open your mitten package monorail that you've had in the garage for like 10 plus years, and he finally caved and let Drew build it in the past 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's
my
true.
God.
That is true.
Magical moment.
It's like
Dave didn't feel that as magical.
It's so funny.
well, it was funny because I was like, Annika's going to be so mad because she's been asking me for years to open this, and sure enough, she was away and she came back and she's like, what? I can't believe you let him open it. It was like, you love him more than me. That type of like thing. And it was like, she made a big deal about it. And I was like, see, told you. I knew this was what's going to happen.
Listen, we have been worn down by child number.
It
We
was
are
like-
old and tired and care a lot less.
Third child.
Yeah. And, it's one of those realizations of, I'm probably not going to do what I dreamed of doing with this thing. So might as well, let them enjoy it. And I do have the Tron monorail, which was a limited edition thing that I think fits on that on the track. So I kept that still in the package. I'm not letting him open that, although that did come up as well. But I was like, no.
It's a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
I'm drawing the line for now.
Yeah.
Is he playing with your vinyls too?
Right?
Nope. This just seemed like one of those. It's not really that. It's not like a limited edition thing. I'm pretty sure they still sell them.
I think they do. He wanted to buy it when we were in Disney World so badly.
But this is a vintage one, so like I think the ones now actually come with like a remote control. This one does not have the remote control. This one it's got to be probably like at least 10, if not 15 years old.
I think
like
it's old.
It's old. So
yeah.
Oh well.
Well done, Drew. Well done.
And we had it up for a couple weeks. We just took it down today. So the kids liked it, and it woke Becky up in the middle of the night.
Start running in the middle of the night.
Oh my God.
Hey, the monorail's got to go, and the monorail's got to go.
Well, it does the whole spiel, not in
does.
Spanish, but stand clear of the doors.
Yeah.
That's so
And
funny.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well done.
All right. Well, I think that's everything. So thank you for listening. You can email us at mouseearsinparadise@gmail.com or follow us on all of our social media. You can find the links at mouseearsinparadise.com. And of course, we want to thank Dan and Becca for once again joining us and sharing your adventures. We will have you again sometime soon.
Go make another adventure and you can come back.
Go on another adventure and we're going to have you back.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Applause. We hope you've all enjoyed the show.